Some stories don't begin with fireworks or dramatic music. Some begin on a quiet road, on an ordinary night, when a single act of kindness changes the course of two completely different lives. This is one of those stories. A tired single dad, a powerful CEO, and a moment of fate that collided on a dark highway no one expected. Before we start, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment below. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories to life right here on your channel name. Ethan Miller wasn't anyone special in the eyes of the world. A 34-year-old single dad, working long shifts at a small-town auto shop, doing everything he could to raise his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. His life wasn't glamorous. It wasn't easy. But it was honest, and it was full of love. Every night before bed, Ethan would tuck Lily in and whisper the same promise: no matter what happens, sweetheart, Daddy will always show up. It was a promise he lived by, even on the toughest days. One cold November evening, after finishing a late shift, Ethan was driving home through the winding back roads that cut through the outskirts of town. The sky was pitch black, and the fog clung low, making visibility almost nothing. He was exhausted but alert, because that was who he was: responsible, careful, always thinking of Lily waiting at home. But then he saw it. A sudden flash of light. A screech. And then a car spun off the road ahead of him, crashing violently into a ditch. Ethan slammed his brakes and leaped out of his truck without a second thought. He sprinted toward the smoking vehicle, the smell of burning rubber hitting him as he approached. The front end of the car was crumpled, steam hissing from the broken engine. Inside, a woman sat unconscious, her head resting against the airbag. "Hey! Can you hear me?" Ethan shouted as he yanked the door handle. It was jammed. He pulled harder, ignoring the pain in his shoulder. Finally, with a grunt, the door swung open. The woman groaned weakly. Blood trickled from her forehead. The seatbelt had locked tight around her. "It's okay. I've got you," Ethan said, his voice steady, reassuring. "You're going to be all right." He unbuckled her seatbelt and lifted her out, carrying her to a safe distance just before sparks flew from the hood. Moments later, the car burst into flames, lighting up the night sky. The woman coughed, her voice shaky. "Thank you. I couldn't move. I thought I was going to die." "You're safe now," Ethan replied, placing his jacket around her shoulders. When the ambulance arrived, the EMTs recognized her immediately. Her name was Rebecca Hale, CEO of Hale Tech, one of the fastest-growing companies in the state, powerful, wealthy, always on magazine covers and business networks. The kind of person who lived in a world Ethan would never enter. But none of that mattered to him. He didn't see a CEO. He saw a human being who needed help. Rebecca was taken to the hospital, and Ethan refused to leave until he knew she was stable. When she finally woke up fully, she insisted on seeing him. "You saved my life," she said softly, watching him with gratitude that looked too raw, too genuine for someone used to corporate boardrooms. "I don't know how to repay you." "You don't have to repay me," Ethan said with a simple smile. Anyone would have done the same. But Rebecca knew better. Not everyone would stop. Not everyone would risk their own safety. Not everyone would care. A week later, she sent a driver to bring Ethan and Lily to her office. The building was towering, glass-walled, and intimidating, but Ethan walked in calmly, holding his daughter's hand. Rebecca greeted them warmly, kneeling to Lily's height. "So this is the brave little girl your dad kept talking about." Lily giggled shyly. Rebecca looked at Ethan. "I meant what I said, Ethan. I want to do something for you. Anything. Name it." Ethan shook his head. "I didn't help you for a reward." "I know," she said quietly. "That's exactly why I want to help." She offered him a job at Hale Tech, something far better than the auto shop. A comfortable salary, benefits, stability. A chance to give Lily the life he always dreamed of providing. It was more than generous. It was life-changing. But Ethan hesitated. That night, after putting Lily to bed, he sat at the kitchen table staring at Rebecca's offer. It was everything he wanted. Everything he needed. Yet something didn't feel right. The next morning, he drove to the hospital where Rebecca was still finishing her follow-up treatment. She smiled when she saw him, until she noticed the look in his eyes. "You're turning it down, aren't you?" she whispered. Ethan nodded slowly. "It's an incredible offer." "Really? But I can't take it." "Why?" she asked, genuinely confused. "Ethan, this job could change everything for you and your daughter." "That's just it," he said softly. "I don't want my life to change because of something you feel obligated to do. I didn't save you to gain something. I saved you because it was the right thing to do. Kindness, real kindness, shouldn't come with strings attached. Not even good ones." Rebecca stared at him, stunned. No one had ever refused her. No one had ever turned down success, stability, and opportunity, especially not for a reason so humble. "But if you ever need a friend," Ethan added, "I'm here. Not because you're a CEO. But because you're someone who matters." Tears pooled in her eyes. The CEO who commanded boardrooms, who signed billion-dollar deals, who never let herself break, crumbled for a moment. "Ethan," she said, voice trembling, "people like you, they're rare." He simply smiled. "People like you just need someone who believes that." Over the next few weeks, something remarkable happened. Rebecca didn't disappear from their lives. Instead, she became part of it, visiting Lily, sharing dinners with them, laughing more than she had in years. Not as a CEO. Not as a powerful figure. But as a friend. She learned what true kindness looked like, not the kind written in charity checks or corporate speeches, but the kind shown quietly, without expectation, from a heart that simply cared. One afternoon, while watching Lily draw pictures at the kitchen table, Rebecca said, "Ethan, you didn't just save my life. You changed it." He looked at her curiously. "How?" "You reminded me what really matters. Success, money, recognition, none of it means anything if you lose your humanity along the way." Ethan sat beside her. "Kindness doesn't cost anything. But it can give people something they never forget." Rebecca smiled softly. "And sometimes," she said, glancing at him, "it gives you something back too." In that small kitchen, filled with warmth, simple furniture, and the sound of Lily humming quietly, Rebecca realized she had gained something her wealth could never buy: genuine connection, real gratitude, and a reminder of who she wanted to be. Ethan didn't accept her job offer. He didn't take her money. He didn't want anything in return. But he gave her something priceless, a second chance to live with purpose and kindness. And she gave him something too, someone who believed in his goodness, who saw him not as a struggling single dad, but as a hero who lived by the promises he whispered to his daughter each night. In the end, they didn't need contracts or rewards. They needed friendship. They needed hope. They needed kindness. Because sometimes, kindness is the beginning of everything beautiful. And this story is your reminder. Do the right thing, even when no one is watching. Help someone, even when you gain nothing from it. Show up, even when it's inconvenient. Kindness doesn't just change others. It changes you. And that is the real miracle.